Hello, welcome to this video. So in today's video, we're just going to look at how to implement SEO in Next.js applications. So you're just going to take one of our applications that we have been building, and then you're just going to implement SEO in this application. So there are so many things to do with SEO if you want your application to rank, but for the technical SEO, these are going to be the guide, more especially in Next.js. So there are key parts. We are going to look at SEO. Basically, we're going to look at how to add a favicon icon, how to add the OG images for social sharing your website. We're going to look at how to add metadata for both static pages and dynamic pages. Adding sitemap for the both static and dynamic pages. Then how to add the robot.txt to your app to see how the robots can crawl your application. Now, to show you the demo of what you're just going to build, so I took one of our applications we built, more especially the one we're working on in the course. And now this is now after adding this, we can start by the favicon icon. So you can see here there is this favicon icon plus the description, the title that has been added onto this page. Now this home page, if I just go ahead and click on this SEO meta in one click, this is the an extension I added for helping us to see the meta tags. So if I click on this, it gives me the summary, for instance, the site title here, the description that is going to be used on the entire site. Now, the first advanced one is looking at the meta tag on the dynamic pages. Dynamic pages, for instance, these are the products. So you can just go here and maybe get this Apple MacBook Air. I'm just going to right click on this product, or you can just right click on any of these ones. For instance, Apple iPhone. Let me right click and open this product in the detailed page. So you can see we are on the detailed page for this product, Apple iPhone 15 Pro. So if I just go and click on this extension back, you will see that the title is dynamic. We have the Apple 15 Pro like this, and then we append this one that was on general pages. The description also here is for this product, as you can just check here. If I scroll down and I go to product description, you will see that we have this product description and the same description that is on this. So meaning this is we are getting the meta tags dynamically, and the dynamic pages are not only for these they are not only for these product pages. We have done this for both the category pages. If I go to this category page, if you click on any of these ones, okay, so you see we are on this category page. If I click on this, you will see that the title has also changed into computer and accessories, which is the category for this one. Okay, so similarly for the other pages like the brands, so we have also here the brands. Similarly, we have done the same thing and it's a dynamic page. So moving on, we generated the sitemap also dynamically. So if I show you the sitemap, you just simply go to localhost 3000, and then I'm just going to put in stock and I'm just say sitemap.xml. So you can say sitemap.xml. And this one is going to show us the generated sitemap for all the routes that we want to be crawled. For instance, the category pages, product pages, brand pages, all the dynamic pages, including the static pages. As you can see, we have, for instance, this here. Okay, so this is really great, and it is really amazing to see how we created this. Okay, so moving on, we also have a full documentation of what you have implemented step by step that gives you a detail of how to implement SEO in your Next.js. I have this full documentation that I will share with you, and you can always use it and refer to it to implement SEO in any of your projects. Okay, so that's what you're just going to cover in this video, and if you're happy, let's dive in. Hey, welcome to this video. So in this video, I just want to talk about SEO and how you can implement it in your Next.js application. So have you wondered, most of the times when you go, for instance, when you go to Google and you search for a keyword, let's say you search for a company, and then you see these whole nice pages coming in, a lot of pages coming up like this, or you find that you have a nice description, sometimes even this nice description like this. Okay, so in today's video, we just want to simply actually put this in our application. Want to implement SEO, we put sitemap, open graph, robots, and all other things that needed for the app to always show up in Google. And this, if you are building a startup, it is one thing you have to work on. Or if you just like building for a client, it is one extra thing you can add for your client, and it is going to be always good. So we're just going to use this application that we are building in the course, as we don't need to know all the code for this or anything. I'm just going to show you how you can simply implement, and it is going to be really, really great. Okay. So the things you need, if I just bring here Xcode draw here, I'm just going to simply go here and we talk about the things we need when we talk about the search engine. I'm just going to write here SEO in Next.js. Okay, so there are some few parts that you need to care about. I'm just going to start with the first one is the favicon. Favicon. I'm just going to enlarge this a little bit. So we have a few things we just need to improve. The first one is the favicon. So when you go to a site, this thing you're seeing here, this logo here, or if you just go to the website itself, you will see the favicon icon here in here. You will see the favicon. So that's the first thing you need to add in your application. Okay, and then you have after that you have the metadata. So the meta data that you need to specify. So the metadata, some of the metadata is this, as you can see the title here when I hover here, and this is the title that comes when you search. Okay, there is this name, and then there is this description. So we have titles and description. You can see by phones, what that is the description they added, and then they have also the title here. So you need some the metadata for both static. So this is both static and dynamic. Okay, so what we mean static and dynamic, you just need to do metadata, because for instance, this the home page, the index is a static page. Okay, or if you just go to other pages, like let's say contact us, like they have this page of contact us. So if you just go on this is a static page, as you can see. So here, so the metadata for this page is what we refer as the metadata, static metadata. But then if you just went to, let's say, a product, just go to this product, find one nice product here. This. Okay, so as you can see here, we are on to this product. You can see that the title here changes. Okay, you can see the title changes, and it has something like this. Okay, so this is what we call dynamic, because this page is dynamic. If I go to another product, it will be dynamic, and so on and so forth. So you have to cater for all this for all the pages. Okay, so then after that, you need, of course, sitemap. Okay, you need we can just also put OG images, OG image, and these like the images that show up when you share you try to share this website on Google or something. I don't know if, for instance, if we went to this and we pasted into this website, I don't know if it can just like get us something for this website. Yeah, so you can see like, for instance, on Facebook here. On Facebook, you can see it is here. They have this icon. It is their open graph. They have also for Twitter. They have put for LinkedIn. They don't have for Discord. They have for Discord. So you can see like they have done all this for their website, and it is really looking nice. Okay, it is really looking nice, and they can here they show even the description, and they show even the image they have here. Okay, the title, the description. So they show you all this. You can just check this open graph.xyz, and you can just like check those things. So you need the open graph images when you are sharing it on social medias. This open graph will always show up that icon. Next is now we can just like show the sitemap. Okay, sitemap, and this one is also in static. It has static and dynamic, just like this. Okay, so sitemap basically tells the website how many links do you have on your website, like the ones that are supposed to show up on Google. Because when you see this, you can see it is showing up phones and tablet, that is a link, this fashion, home. So you can see all categories that have been just like their links. Okay, so the sitemap tells how many links or how many routes do you have in your application that are supposed to be searchable. So this is why you specify all these. Next, and this is also done for, there are these pages we know. For instance, you know this contact page is a static page. It is there. So you can copy and put this. But then, for instance, for these products, okay, it is very it is a tricky way to get for the dynamic products, and that's why we need to have a way to generate these links dynamically in the sitemap. The next one is robot. So you have a robot.txt now, or the robot text. This one, it is just for the crawlers. Okay, those robots, the Google robots or the crawlers, they use this to know which pages to crawl and which pages not to crawl. Like which information are you supposed to save, which information are you supposed to leave, all that kind of stuff. You just indicate it here. Okay, in the robot. And I think with those ones, I think those are the major ones that we are going to implement. So I put up together a documentation on this is HubDocs. I'm just going to leave, of course, the link. So if I scroll here, there is SEO in Next.js, and I have this complete documentation. You can just go and read more about why do you need SEO, what is SEO about, and all this kind of stuff. I'll put here in the documentation you can read about. Okay. Of course, this essay is not somehow very helpful. It is helpful when you want to know about more information or explaining your client what is the purpose of SEO. I have put here the information. But now let's talk about how to implement. As we said, the number one thing you need is adding a favicon icon to your application. So for instance, for us here, this is the logo we are trying to use everywhere. This one. So you can just sort of like use this and we create a favicon icon. Okay. So to do that, I'm just going to go ahead and get this black bag. Now, unfortunately, this is an icon, but I can just simply first go maybe to Canva very fast. Okay. And on Canva, I can just simply create my you can just simply say logo, and you get just like this 500 by 500. Okay, so if you just look at our icon, I'm just going to drag this. It is this bag, shopping bag in black. So I can just convert this into black, and then I can just get a shopping icon from maybe flat icons. Okay, and I can just go here and I say shopping bag, shopping bag, shopping bag. Okay, shopping bag. Okay, I can just like put this shopping bag. So you can see I have these many shopping bags. I don't know if this is the one. I could just like first see. Okay, this one can work actually. I could just like scroll more, maybe get more a. Okay, okay. I think I will just go with that. I will just go with this one. Is it just like black or white? I'm not so sure if this is going to be white or black. Okay, I'm just going to get this, and I'll just bring this Canva just like this. An alternative, I could also just have searched this, maybe here, maybe we could just say cut. Okay, just get like some of these, which are just like not actually the one, maybe. Okay, I'm just going to do this now. As you can see, this one is black. Okay, basically there is nothing much I can do about this border weight. If I change this to white, can I change this to white? It doesn't matter. That one we don't need actually any border. So basically I have to go and change this to maybe white. So if I change this to white, so we have something like this. I don't know if this is just like, okay, it's very hard to get the icon you can edit. Okay. This is why you use like Illustrator, and maybe you get your icon. But for demonstration purposes, for that case, maybe let me just get any other. Here you could just get most of these ones are also not free. Okay, like this one is editable, so I'm just going to get any of these one that are editable. Okay, because the one I'm looking for, I can't find it, and I can't find also a free one. Okay, so in my free time, I'll just go ahead and get another one. So for this now, we can change this to black, and then we change this to white. Okay, you just change this to white, and this works just like so. So you can just go ahead and now go ahead and download the file. Download. Anyway, you can just like first make this big, maybe like somehow big, like really big. Okay. I'm just going to go with this for now. I don't have, so I'm just going to go and download. So after getting this, you can just simply head to favicon. Yes, I cancel. I don't know. Just download this. Okay. I'm just going to head to favicon generator. Just get any of these links. There are so many links you can use here for favicon. Okay, and then I'm just going to click on PNG and simply upload, which is this one. I can upload and then immediately download. Okay, so you just download this file. So you just simply go to your Next.js app. So let's go to my Next.js application, which is this one. So far you can see that there is favicon here. So I'll just right click and open. Okay, so you can see already I have this favicon. I'm just going to go ahead and paste this. I'm just going to extract this. Okay, I'm just going to extract. So I have this. The only thing I just want is the favicon. So you can see I have all these so many files. I only want the favicon. Control C. And I can just copy, go delete this one. So you can delete this one and then paste this new one. I can now go ahead and delete this file also, and also this one. So I have my new icon. That's the most important, and that's it. So you have added the favicon. Okay, if I just go to localhost now, it will just like take some few seconds, or it will need like to refresh so many times. Sometimes there's already cached the other image, and that's the why it is not changing. But that's the first step. Change the favicon. Now moving on. So I've also just told here by adding the favicon image file to the root, and it has to be to the root as you saw. The second one is the metadata. Okay, as I said it, you need just the metadata. I have defined so many keywords in the metadata that you need. The metabase, title, description, application, keywords, and all these, what they mean, I've put them in the documentation. You can just like read about anything, or read about it, what it provides. You can see, for instance, title. This meta tag is the most important meta tag for SEO. It tells search engine what your website is about and what pages your website are relevant to, blah blah. So you can just like see all the pages we need. The most important step is create the site config file. Okay, now you could just like go and put this, but it's good you always have like a site config where you can change things at a global level. Like for instance, you can change the URL of the whole website, you can change everything. So I will just go ahead and create a folder called config, and in it I'm going to create site.ts, and then in site.ts I will add this piece of code. So I'm just going to go in my app and I just see if I have already a config file. So if you already have the config file, you don't actually need to create another one. I already have one config file here. I will just simply go and create in a file called site.ts. Okay, and then in this, I'm just going to go ahead and paste this. So the site config, the things you can do, you can put the name of the application. For instance, ours is going to be named as Stockify. So you can just say here Stockify. Okay, you can just like put any name you want here and it will be okay. Okay, and then the URL of the hosted version. Now you could just go into this file and you could just also get maybe the hosted base URL as we have it here, because on the deployed version you just go and change that in the environmental variables, as you can see, like next public base URL. So that one is going to always store all our stuff. So I could just go here and I say, for instance, that in this one is going to be for instance, we could just say process dot env dot next base URL. Okay, next public base URL. So you could just always put this here, just like this. Now, for the OG image you want to use on the entire site, it is also good that it is hosted separately. So what I would just say, you can design your OG image, okay, for your e-commerce site, and then use that. So to create the OG image, as you can see, is that the OG image must be of size 1200 by 630. Okay, you can just go and see on this first site we are on, the open graph. If you remember very well, after this, after searching for this web, it gave us here the proposed recommended size is 1200 by 630. You could just head back to this and now create a new file, create a custom one of 1200 by 630. Okay, just create this, and this one you can just go ahead and now create your e-commerce site. I don't know what you can just put onto this. Maybe I can just search, I don't know, for the e-commerce store or something you want. So you can just like basically put in what you want to be seen on the social media. Okay, I don't know what you want to be seen or whatever, but specify, sorry, you can just go ahead and specify what you want to be seen on the social media. Okay, I don't know what can we put. Okay, I'm just going to get like one of these here, and then you can just start from there. So you can just like have this, maybe you put the categories, take your time and design something that you can just use very well. Okay, so I mean, just take your time and get a very nice image you can put. Maybe we could just go and remove all these. Okay, remove all these, and then I'm just going to say Stockify. Okay, maybe e-commerce, I don't know, anything you want, and then you could just like go ahead and put some images, and when you're happy with this, maybe we just drop in our logo or something. And from here, I'm just going to copy this. I can just also drop in this here. Okay, I can just like go ahead and do this. Maybe get a circle, make it black, and then drop in this like this, and let me just bring front. Okay, I could just like basically create our logo like this and just add it here like so. Okay, so you could just go ahead and create any experience you want or the image you want to share, and then after getting it and you're very comfortable with it, just use that. So I'm just going to go ahead, download this, just like so. Now you could just like go ahead and first host this for free. It is up to you. Okay, you can just like go ahead and, for instance, go to Cloudinary and then like upload it to Cloudinary and then get a nice link of the hosted version of why you can just like keep on uploading all your images. Okay, so yeah, that is one way of getting this. I don't know what I'm just going to do. I'm just going to first log in here for. So you can just go ahead, just in my Cloudinary, I can just go ahead and upload the image that we created in Canva. Of course, you could just go and first optimize it and do everything you want with it. Done, click on done. and here is the image. Click on done, and you can just go ahead and look for this image. I think you have to refresh, sort of. I can just refresh here, and then you can just find the image we just added, which is this one. Click on it, and you can just go ahead and get the URL. And the URL is just put this. Just a second. You can just get share. Let me see share. I don't know. Public link. What? Just I just need a URL, guys. Come on. Mm. Maybe just click on embed. Just a second. Listen. I think this is the URL. Let me just first get this. Go to this. Okay, that is the one. And you just go here and you can just go ahead and specify all these in your app. For instance, the OG image, you can see that this one is for shared. You can see the image is there. You can just also go and put yours, and you can see ours now is there. So basically, also just go ahead and put your Twitter, maybe .stockify, and also put your GitHub, or if you just want, you can just put all the links you want. Okay. GitHub, Stockify. Of course, this one just making them up, but this is to show you that you can just go ahead and put all the necessary things here. Now for the description, you can there. I can just go here and say, for instance, while we have these ones, you can see that they have a title, for instance. Okay. And we can just go here and we have a description. Now name, I'm just going to put title into this. Sorry. Just like this. By this, maybe wherever you're located, maybe Nigeria or Uganda. Then this Stockify. So you can just put whatever you just want into this. I'm adding title here. We're just going to use this. And then the description, you can also just go ahead and compose your own description for that matter. It's not just good, I'm doing this for educational purposes, but if you're going to deploy your all apps, you're supposed to get all this. If you look up online for electronics, phones, computers, fashions, and all this is really good. Okay, so after you put this in your config in the site.ts, and here you can define so many variables that you are going to be reusing on the entire site. This is very helpful because instead of keeping on generating or renaming the URL all the time, you have it done here. Okay, so this is really, really great. And for this, you could also just look for the hosted version. Let me just say, for instance, inventory. So we have, for instance, our hosted version. I could just copy this system here, and I just say by default is going to be this. So just in case this is not there, we could use this one, or specifically, you could also just say, if it is not there, then take this one. Any of these ones can still actually work. Great. Okay, so after doing that, now we head to the layout. Going back to documentation here, as you can see, create your site config. They created this and we added this stuff. Update the global layout file with the metadata information. So by default, if you just go to the layout, okay, if you just go to the app layout, you will find that there is always in the layout, they always give you the starting point. And this title you're seeing here, create next app and generated by create next app. This is the default one that comes with all Next.js applications. If you just check also this one, you can see that if I hover here on top, I have create next app, and this one is the one that coming in from here. So we have to update this file with a other big gigantic file that is specifying more key terms and so on. So just going back to the doc, simply just get this metadata like so. I'm just going to copy all these metadata object, and I'm just going to go ahead and update with this one. Okay. Now, wherever you have site config, we can just first import the site config because it is the one we have here in this site config. You can see I'm exporting it type. Site config is of type site config, this one. Okay. So like basically I'm trying to generate the types of these ones automatically using the type of. So you can see export type site config, it is equal type of. So this one is just going to generate all the types from this variable, right? And now we're using it here. So you can just basically go back to the layout. If I can close all these pages and just go back to the layout. Okay, of course, I'm assuming you're doing this now in your own app. So just go ahead and import this like so. Okay, now for the title, we don't want to just use the name. I'm just going to change this to the title. Okay, and then also maybe this one, we can just leave it on the name, or we could also just like put in the title. And this one means we use this as a template, and that means if any page on the site has nothing on it, is going to be used by this default title. And if there is a name on other pages, then it is going to use this template. It will first put the template name. For instance, if you created about page, we'll do one example. And then now you can have this site name appended on it. Okay. And now we can just like say dot title here also, just like this. Okay. Now we have the metabase and all these keywords, by the way, them in the documentation. You can just go ahead, for instance, read about all these ones, the metabase, search engine, and social media platforms where to find the root of your website. For instance, you can see the purpose of the metabase. Okay, metadata base, and this is how you create it. And we already have the site, the URL from the site config, and that's the purpose of the site config. Now we can just go ahead and just define the keywords we want to rank for instance. And the easy way to find these, you can just go ahead, maybe back to the site config, and you can just go ahead and get some of the keywords here, like all these, you know, or you could just go on a chat GPT and generate 20 keywords for the e-commerce site. And maybe could I just do that? Chat GPT. Like basically go here and just say, hey, I have an e-commerce called Stockify. Okay, it sells for e-commerce. It says or have an e-commerce store. Okay, it says I'm just going to leave it at that and just say create for me maybe 10 keywords I can use for SEO. Keywords I can use for SEO and return them as a a JavaScript array, just like that. And they're just going to go ahead and give us these keywords. Just simply copy the array just like this. So you can just say go ahead and get keywords, I don't know, for your e-commerce, and just simply put them here. Okay. And then the socials, you can just go here and you put, for instance, Shopify, not Shopify, Stockify. Okay. Here, Stockify. So just like basically edit all the information to match your site. Okay, just simply follow this. And now this is very important when it comes to open graph. Okay, now there are two ways you can put the open graph. There are two ways. The first way is in this open graph object. You just put all these site URL, title, and blah blah, but you can specify the images and then you specify the URL of the image. And this is why it works while we have site config.image. Okay, we can specify the width and also the alt tag, okay, of this image. So that is the first way, and you do the same thing to this here, the Twitter. You can do this for Twitter, Facebook, and so on and so forth. Okay. The second way, as you can even see the icons here. Okay. If you have, you can specify all these icons. You can say have this shortcut. You can put this, and then Apple, you can put this. And by the way, all these icons you are seeing here, the ones they have put here, you have them in the, when you downloaded the favicon zip, they give you all these ones. Now for these other ones we don't have, but you can also just go ahead and specify for this. Okay, and if you don't even put this in this object, Next.js will take the favicon, the one you have here placed in this route, this one here. So you can just go ahead and get all these icons when you download from the favicon, these icons, and you can just go ahead and put them here. Then lastly is the manifest. Okay, just is going to be like generated from the site URL. And that's it. That's the first thing. So if we go back now to our site here, not this one. Now you can just see, if I hover here, you can see buy phones, fashion, electronics in Uganda, and all that kind of stuff. You know what? In fact, you can also install an extension, a Chrome extension called SEO. I think it was called, I think I can activate this. And I think it was called, I don't remember, but it was like Meta something. SEO Meta one click. I can just like find that extension right now. I can just go and say SEO Meta one click extension. So it is just this SEO. You can just go ahead and install, I think it is this one. Yeah, you can install this extension, and this extension can just help you simply see what you are editing and so on and so forth. So it is just good. You can just have that one. Did my just browser just go that? Okay, so I think that's been added. I can just go back to, I can just go back to this, and then I can just go to extensions and just click pin it. I could just pin it and then click on it. So this one is going to just simply load all the things. Okay, not on this one, the hosted one. We just want the one locally here. So I'm just going to click one more time. So you can now see the summary, for instance, the title, the description, and all the keywords, plus the URL that we are having hosted. And then we have also this canonical, and we have the author. Then they are telling you the ones that are missing. Okay. So yeah, this is good. You can just now see what we have put. Okay. Great. So after that, what we just need is we have checked that one has entered, and you can do this. Now, pages that are not going to be dynamic. So what we have added in the layout, this is going to be working for the whole entire website. Okay. And this is going to be, I think there is one thing I've not added. Uh, I don't know. Something to do with. Let me check my old documentation. I'm just going to go. I have another document. I use it. If you don't know, I have already. Let me just go on YouTube. Just a second. If you just go on my YouTube here, I already have. If you just go here and we have SEO. So if you just type in SEO like so, you will see I have this video here as SEO for this Next.js 13, and probably most of the things actually look the same, most of them. There is a documentation I used during this period, and it was in Notion. So I can just quickly find this documentation, which is this one. I feel like there is one tag that was in this documentation. So we have the metabase, we have the description, application name, keywords, author created. There is this one, alternates. Okay. And there is this. I'm just going to copy this one, Control C. And I think that's the only one, alternates. I will also add it in the documentation. So after like the author, you can just like put this alternates, and it also just like tells what is the site. Okay, now if we just go back in the SEO, and not this one here. By the way, you can see the favicon icon is there. So if you just go back here, you can see that if I click on this, you will see now we'll have something like canonical. You can see here the canonical URL is now there, and it's because of this tag we have just added here. Okay. Okay, great. So that is the first thing you need to do. Now, the next thing you need to do is go to, if you have any other pages that are not this, we have two types of pages basically. As I said here in the Xcode draw, we have two types of pages. We have static pages. So if I just go back here, we have types of pages. Okay, types of pages. Okay, we have static pages, and this is e.g. like about us. Okay, so if you have this like a page about us is not dynamic. Now a dynamic page would be for instance the product page. So this one would be a dynamic page. This is dynamic. And by the way, I'm very sorry for the cock that is in the background today. I'm really, really sorry for that. That's not my cock anyway. It's just for my neighbors, but I'm really sorry for that. But just moving on, we have types of pages. So if you had page here called about, if I went maybe in the front page, in the front here, and I created like about page for just purposes. I think we have all these ones we have here, the actual dynamic pages. Okay, I'm just going to create like a simple page here. and I will just create new file and I just say about slash page.tsx, just like this, RFC. Okay, so if I just go here and I'm just say this is about page, okay. So like on this page, we have not done anything to do with metadata. So all pages by default, they will be taking the metadata for the layout. So whatever you define in the layout will be distributed to all pages. And if I just go back here to this website and I go slash about, just like this, let's just wait to go to the about. So you can see here I have about page. Now, if I just go instead, I go to this meta, you will see that still on this page is taking the same things for the whole entire site, is taking it for this page. Okay, so if you define it in the layout, but if I want to change now this one and to include maybe the about page, okay, going back to the documentation here, you will see that we have two types of this. After this one, metadata for individual pages, either server side or client side. So for the normal pages such as about, blogs, just add the following code. So for it, you simply just give the normal metadata like this and you pass in whatever you want to add. So you can just simply copy this and just go to this page on top here. Okay, now you can just go here and put it on before here. And here just say about page. I just say about Stockify, maybe. And just like that. Then I can also just pass in the description. Okay. You can say Stockify is an app. Stockify is a 3-in-1 system that offers this point of sale, e-commerce, and maybe inventory management system, something like this. So if I just now go back to this page, where is it? Here. Okay, I'm just going to refresh. Okay, now if I just go ahead and click again on this meta, now you can see that we have title and it says about Stockify. Okay, and you see whatever the title is we passed in here is going to be appended with the previous one, and this is because of what we did in the layout. So if you just go back to the layout, not this one, the global layout, this one, you can see on the title we defined that you first put whatever you passed in the template and then you put in this one. That's why when you go back here, we have the title for the page and we append the one for the whole entire site. The description, on the other hand, you can see it here, Stockify is a 3-in-1 that offers blah blah. You can also just go ahead, for instance, and pass the keywords for this. But if you don't pass any keyword, we shall stick onto this. You can see also the URL is actually changing properly. Okay, which is really, really nice. Okay, so moving on to that, this is really, really great. Of course, if you wanted, you could also just pass this and you pass it for that page. Okay, you could just go ahead and pass that for this page. For instance, I could copy this and I take it to the about page, which is this one, and pass this one here, and then I put slash about, just like this. And if you just go back now to this page, go into this, we have added, you can see now it has the canonical matching very well. Great. Okay, so moving on, Next, after finishing this, we can just go now do actually the dynamic page metadata for the dynamic page. Okay, and this is like for the product category page, those pages where we have something like dynamic. If you want page is dynamic, for instance, inside the shop here, if I just went to brands, you can see a slug. Okay, if I go to categories, you can see there is a slug. If you go to maybe checkout, is not. If we go to order, it is not. And then if you go to product, it is here. So we can start by that. We can first start by going to the product, and we go inside while we are fetching a single. Okay, this page is the same page as this one. Let me just go to the site, go back to the home page, and let's scroll to where we have some products. Okay, so you can just like go to this Apple like this. Okay, so this is a dynamic page I just opened here. You can see localhost product Apple just like this. So this is definitely a dynamic page on the product here. And you will see that when it loads, let's just wait for it in a second for it to load. Okay, so it has finally loaded. And if you just click on this S1 meta, you can see it is still taking the general description. It is just saying, it is still taking the one we put in the layout. Buy phones, blah, blah, the description the same, the keyword is the same, and the URL here at least changed. Okay, URL changed, and the canonical is still the same. So we have to change this. Okay, so that even here we have it dynamic. Okay, so for the dynamic one, we just going back to the documentation. This is for the dynamic one, and you can just simply copy this function, which we use generate metadata. Okay, and why I'm not over explaining, I already have this video, by the way, where I explain these things in so much detail. So right now I'm just trying to implement it in this and show you how easily you can use the documentation I've created to put this in your app. So just simply go on top of this. Why you have this, you have this export default async function page and so on and so forth. You just simply also on top of it here, just down here, you can just paste this one. Okay, you can see it's also just doing the same thing here. Export async generate metadata, and since we are in TypeScript, it's very easy. Just simply come and copy exactly the same way it is here. Okay, on the page itself, and then just simply pass this here, just like so. So these params, we get a slug, and then we have this string. Okay, so what we need is getting this product we are on. Okay, and we already have these details getting it here. So you can just say const product is await get product by slug. Now, whichever way you are getting your product onto this page from the database, I don't know, but you should be having like a function which gets this. Okay, we already have this function which gets a single product by a slug. You could just go ahead and look at it. It is getting this and returning blah blah, everything we want on the product. So basically you have that function that gets a single product, and this is the one we need. Simply copy this and bring it in this function and replace this product, just like so. So I now have this product and await get products by slug. It gets me back the product, and then we return all the things we need for this product. For instance, if you check onto this, okay, just dot, it has all this data, and here it is the name, title is on the name, description is going to be on description. So if I say dot, I have product details, just like that. I think it's on product details. Okay, and then you can just go ahead and you have this alternate here, canonical, which is going to be product, and then slug. The slug is there. And then for the open graph, we're just going to have product.name. So you can just say product.name here. So we're generating this basically programmatically. Description is going to be the details. I think it's product details, just like this. And finally, the thumbnail, which is going to be product thumbnail, just like this. For the images, we just simply want one image, just like this. So basically now we generated this like automatically. Okay. So if now we go back, I'm just going to go to the product detail page, which is this one. Let me refresh. Okay, now let's go and use this SEO meta. So you can see the title now. It first puts the title of this Apple iPhone 15 titanium, and then we put this one, and this is this name, Apple 15 blah blah. And if you just go ahead on this, you can also see the description, and the description that we have here, dimensions, blah, blah, in weight. You can see this, the same description we have done somewhere, product description here. Okay, it is what we need or what we have there. And it is the one that is showing up here. Okay, then the keywords remain. Now you can see the URL also is generated very well. Then the canonical is also generated very well. And of course, even other things like these ones. So this is really great. We are generating this programmatically for each individual page. Okay, now this one is supposed to be done for all the dynamic pages. Okay, you can just do this for all dynamic pages, and I'm just going to do it for our category page. If I try to go to any category page, so scroll up here, we have categories here, and not necessarily this. You can just go to any category, but I'm just going to open this laptops category, or you could just go click on any of these ones. I also just go to this for purposes of showing you. So we have this also. You can see laptops, and here categories, and then laptops. Now you have, of course, the pages going on. If we go here to see the meta tag, you can see that it is using the normal meta tags, the ones for the general. Okay, it is using the one from the layout. So we don't want that. That's why sometimes your categories should have a description. Okay. So what I'm just going to do is I will just go like this. Copy exactly the same thing we did here. Just copy this, generate metadata. I'm just going to go to other pages like the categories slug. Here, do exactly the same thing on top here. I will just paste this function. Okay. Now we also have a way how we are getting our single category here. Okay. You can see we have the category name being gotten from the slug and blah blah like that. So we have our categories being gotten, and we're just going to, for instance, we might just only want to put the category name for this case, and maybe some few things. We have the slug. I can just go ahead and get the category name the way we got it here. So if I go back here, I'm not going to use this to get the all these things, the description and so on and so forth. I will first paste this here, category name, and I'm just going to use on the title, I will use category name, just like this. And then for the description now, for the description, just a second. We don't need to have this get product. Basically, this canonical is going to be categories, and then here I'm just going to say to get this is we already have actually the slug. So just say slug, as simple as that. Just say slug. So we have the slug category slug. Then for this one, here we are putting this category name. Then description is product details. So for this image, the categories won't have the image. So I will just go ahead and remove open graph so that we use the default one. Okay, so here we'll use the default one. Here I'm just going to change the title. Now for the description, not all categories have description. Okay, so what I would just basically do is what I would just basically do is going back here is I will just leave the description because not all categories are having the description. Okay, just like this. So this is enough. Okay, this is simply enough. Now if I just go back, to the category page, which is this one, I'm going to refresh. Okay, so just click on this SEO. So now you can see here, for instance, laptops. Okay, so this one is for the laptops, and you can see. So if you just go to another one, like this one, computer and accessories, and click on this, you can see computer and accessories. So this is like really great. Okay, so we have also the title appended, but then for the description we maintain this, and then for this here we are okay. Also you can see the canonicals are being generated, the URLs are being generated. Great. So that is also another page. If you had other pages that are dynamic, for instance, do we still have other pages? For instance, we have also brands. Okay, we have brands. I'm just going to copy. I think I need to copy the original one. Let me first see the brands here. So you also have the slug, and you can just have, for instance, brand name, the similar thing. Even the brands don't have description. So we are changing only basically the title. I will just only copy what we did in the categories here. So just copy this generate metadata function, go to the brands, and then here I'm just going to go on top. We have the slug. We just simply get the brand name, and then here we just specify brand name. And then for this canonical, I'm just going to say brands. It's brands or brand. So it is just brands slug. We already have the slug. So if we just go to a brand, if I just go back to this and I scroll down to where we have like the brands somewhere here, and let's go to maybe Airtel. So you can just go to Airtel. I don't know if there is anything or any products. There is no any products here on Airtel. It's okay. But if you just go on this SEO, you can see we have Airtel. Okay, so this is good. And all the links are also very okay. Brand is Airtel and everything. So great. That one is also into our SEO. And I think those are the dynamic pages we have, and we have added the SEO for all those ones. Except, and there is one thing though, okay, Of course, you can also just go in the auth and put for all these pages. Okay. You could just go and put for all those pages. There is one thing in the product and all this dynamic. If you go back to documentation here, the documentation here, you will see there is this function says generate static params. Okay. We are just going to do it for the products. Okay, why you generate all the static params for, like, they fetch all the products slugs ahead of time. Like, they don't have to every time to reload and refetch and refetch. If you just generate this function, it will just get them at once. So I'm just going to copy this. So if you went back to product slug, so where we put this below, you can also still put this. Okay. So what basically this is doing is getting all the products. For instance, I think here, get all the products, and we can just say products, for instance, and we can just go ahead and just get, for instance, get products. Maybe we should be having something like this, get products. So there is this one, get all products. I'm just going to use this one. Okay. So, and you can also just wrap this in a try catch. It's okay. And you can just say here console.log error. And then you can also return an empty array. And then in this, we get all the products. And what we just do is we just go ahead and say products dot map. Okay. By the way, you could also just do something like an if statement. Okay. For instance, if here you could just check if products dot length is less or equal to 0. Anyways, maybe you could just go and say if product dot length is greater than 0, which is going to be the most probable thing. Not just like this. Product dot length. And they're saying here probably it is null. And here you could just say if products. Okay. Oh, you could just say this by default is going to be empty. Okay. And you could just say here if products.length is greater than 0, then we go ahead and do this. Return products.map. We have a single product. And then we return a slug, which is going to be product.slug. Just like this. So this one will fetch all the slugs ahead of time. And moving on also is maybe, of course, if it is not, then you can just say return empty, just like this. So this one's going to help us to fetch ahead of time. Okay, it is always just it. This is really good at fetch ahead of time. Now you can just do this to brands and all others. I'm just like showing you onto this one. I'm just doing it here. This doesn't change anything on the look when you go to that page or anything, but it changes that it will fetch. For instance, if you want to fetch all the categories ahead of time, okay, you can just like fetch all categories ahead of time, and then you can just simply do that. Okay, so maybe if wanted to do for the categories, if I copy this function, generate static params, for instance, for the categories, if I just come here, now here on the categories, we have somehow a complicated fetch, but if, for instance, we wanted to get all the, for instance, you can see here data. where we're getting the data. So you can see that is why we are getting this a very complicated thing here, where we pass tag, page size, and blah blah, all that. But maybe we could just go ahead and get the the categories. Now I'm just going to leave that one because this is somehow really how we are getting all these. We have many categories, subcategories, but we're using only one page categories. So I'm just going to leave this one off, this one, but you can just implement it in products only. Okay, maybe also you could just like maybe implement it in this one, the brands. I think for the brands it can work. I'm just going to see. So you can just get like all brands. I can just say await, get all brands, just like this. And then we have a brand here, brands dot length, and you can just say return brands, and then you have here brand, and then here is brand. So just like this works properly, as you can see. Okay, so you have to do it for brands. For all these other dynamic pages, this will be great. Okay, so moving on, now we are done with those ones. The next important thing is now we talked about the open graph image. As we said, the first way is specifying them in your layout. So if you went to our layout, it's not that one, the global layout, which should be here. So this is the global layout, and if you just go on open graph, you see we specify the images. Now, if you didn't put this one, actually you could just leave this one out. You could go ahead and cut this off, and if you cut that one off, I recommend that you simply create these two files, open image and Twitter image, and simply drop them inside your file or your Next.js application in the root. That it will be all. So that is the second way of putting them. Now for my case, I think I like loading them from the config file because they somehow easy. But another way, you could just go ahead and here, as you can see, add open graph image, just the same text, the same words, graph.jpg or something like this, and you drop it inside this. So in other words, I could just go get in my downloads. You could just go ahead and get, for instance, the file we just renamed right now. Okay, and the file we used, whatever, I don't know. This one here, this was our open graph. So you have to just copy this, for instance, copy, okay, and just go to our, where you have like the favicon icon, reveal, and then you paste it in the root, just like this, and simply rename it to open graph, just like this. So you just go here. I'm just going to rename this to this. Doesn't matter whether it is a PNG, a GIF, or anything. Just renaming it open graph image.png is simply enough to make an open graph for the entire site. The same thing to the Twitter image. You can just simply duplicate the same image like this one, and then you rename it now to Twitter image. So you can just go here. I'm renaming this to Twitter image, like Twitter image.png, and this one will be used as a Twitter image on the site. If you want to give the alt text for these two images, you do the same thing. Open graph image.alt.text. This one will be the text for the open graph image, and the twitter.alt.text. Okay, so that one is done. Now let's go to the another important one, which is the sitemap. As I said here in this, I'm just going to first go close most of these pages. So if you just go back to Excadro, I said we need also the sitemap. Now we are done with favicon, OG, metadata. We are still remaining with sitemap plus the robot. So in the sitemap, we have static and dynamic. Under normal circumstances, you could just create a sitemap in this way. So if you scroll sitemap, there is a static sitemap. For instance, if you did not have any page that is dynamic in your application, for instance, your application is typically front end, you have about page and maybe home page, and you don't have a dynamic page. So you could just go and create this, and then you pass this, you say export default function sitemap, and then you simply put the URL and the last modified date. So this way would create the sitemap.xml on your website. But for our case, we are having dynamic pages that are not static. That's why we have to use the dynamic sitemap. So the first thing is to create. I'm just going to copy this, and in the app directory here, right click and create a file sitemap.ts. Sitemap.ts. As simple as this. Now I just going to go ahead and paste in this. So the first thing is you have the base URL. I can just get this base URL, and I can just get it from the site config. Okay, site config dot URL. So this is good when you just like have everything just like this. Okay, now you need to put the links for all the things you have. Okay, for instance, if you have the about page, these are the ones you can just put here. Okay, for instance, this is the home page. If I had about page, I simply, you can see base URL stroke about, and then I can just go ahead and put the contact page if I have it, base URL contact. For instance, we don't have these ones. I would not put the contact, but I have these contacts. So the first two ones, these ones are the static ones, the home page plus the about page. So this is how you would put, for instance, localhost 3000 stroke about. Then this one is, of course, the home page. So now we have to create all other dynamic pages, for instance, for the all products, for all categories, for all brands. We have to create the pages, and you have to come here on top, and I'm just going to first remove these functions. We have to get the products by get all products, get all products. As I've said, you must be having your own way of having this function that gets all the products from the DB. Then you can also have these categories. Okay, now we have so many. We have the main categories, so I'm just going to duplicate them here. For the categories, we just say get or maybe or I don't know, categories. So we have get all categories. Then we have the main categories, main categories, just like this. Okay, and I can just go ahead and just say get main, get or maybe get or main. So we have get or main categories. I'm just going to go ahead and get the subcategories called subcategories. So here just get all your dynamic pages. I'm just going to say here get all subcategories, just like this. So I have all this. And then for the products, we already have the products. Now from the products, let's generate the product URLs. You just say products, okay, and you just go ahead and map them. I don't know what is the problem here. Is possibly null. So for all these ones, put empty, just like this. Okay, If they fetch and there is nothing, it will be taken as an empty array. Okay, so we have our categories and everything. So product URLs will be mapping here and we return this. So for this is going to be product. Okay, URL, base URL, product, and then product.slug. So this one is going to generate an array. Then we do the same thing for the categories, subcategories, and main categories. The same thing, category.map, and then we return categories. And the good thing here, the page is called categories. If you go to the category page, you will see that this is on the categories. Okay. Yeah, so it is on the categories. This is base URL categories and then category.slug. I'm just going to duplicate these two more for the main categories and the subcategories. So this one is going to be main categories, main category URLs, and this one is going to be the main categories, and this has the same thing like so. Okay, and we are trying to crawl all these ones. So here the final ones are the subcategories, categories URLs, subcategory URLs. This one now is going to loop on the subcategories, and the same thing, we have categories and this slug. Okay, now if you wanted, I don't know, the actual URL, you might just go ahead and concatenate a type. If you just go here, for instance, and click on the main, you see that they have categories, computer this, and you just simply put the type. I'm not sure if that is really important. Okay, uh I'm not sure, but of course you could just have gone and just like this question mark, and then for instance these are for the main categories. I'm just going to put question mark type just like this, and this one still is counted as a URL just like that. Okay, now for all of them, if you want to add, this one is type sub, and the other one is type cut. So I could just like add type cut and just like this. So now after getting all these URLs, I'm just going to come and I spread them here. So category spread for the subcategory URLs, and finally maybe we could just like that with the one for main category URLs, just like that. So we have now this one going to be generated automatically from all these pages. If you want to confirm that they are all there, I think we are leaving brands. Let's get also for the brands. Okay, so I'm just going to go for the brands. So duplicate one of these ones and just say brand URLs, and these ones are going to come from brands. I'm just going to come here and fetch brands, await get, I think, all brands, and then we can just use this in here, brands, just like this. Okay, now for it doesn't have the cut. Okay, it doesn't have the cut, and I can change this to brand, and then this is going to be brands and brand dot slug. If you just go to back to the home page, I'm not sure what is for the brands. If I say HP, so you can see this is how the link is generated here to get this. Okay, the ID is required. Maybe we just like simply just copy this. Okay, brands, and then the slug, and then this question mark we put, for instance here, I'm just going to put this question mark, and then here is going to be brand.id. So you can just say brand.id, just like this. Okay, so I have also the brand URLs. I'm just going to pass all brand URLs, also pass them in the sitemap. So you can see I've added all the category URLs, the brand URLs. You can add all the URLs like this, the dynamic one and the static one. The static ones simply add them like this, and the dynamic ones fetch them like this. Now, can we see this XML file? I'm just going to refresh. Okay. Now after refreshing, if I just go to sitemap.xml, I think it's like sitemap.xml, just like this. It should just like generate all the links we need. Yeah. So you can just see here, I'm just going to zoom in, and you can see, like, for instance, we have all these the sitemap, this, and then we have the ones for the product, for all the products. Then you go to the one of the categories, and then you have all these for the categories. You have the ones for the brand, you have the one for the subcategories, main categories, and all sorts of like that. So this is great. Okay, and this is really, really great. We have the dynamic sitemap generated very well. Okay, so that is one nice thing. Now, lastly, I think the last one is so we have worked on the sitemap, and now we have the robots.txt. So I'll just simply go to and create this file. So you can just go back to documentation, and in the documentation, you see you have this robot. So you can just create a robot.txt file or robot.ts, and then put this function. So I will just go back here. The root, so you do this one also in the root. So I'll just go up and create a route or root.ts. Okay, root.ts, just like so. I'm just making that this is in the right place, and then put this. Okay, so the first thing is to get the base URL, which base URL I'm getting it from siteconfig.url. And you can see how I'm using this siteconfig all the time, and I don't need to change anything here. Base URL.site, that is the most important thing to tell the robots where to find the sitemap. Okay, now after this, we have the rules. The user agent, we are allowing all the robots or the bots from either Google and or other from other search engines. This is what it means. Then here the pages that are supposed to be crawled. We need the home page, the product page, the categories. So you can just like pass in here, and then like the slash brands. Okay, slash brands. You can also go ahead and just pass in all the pages that you want to be crawled, and this is how you pass them in the array. Okay, and then finally, these ones, the ones you don't want to be crawled. For instance, if you had the API page and you don't want to be crawled, so you say slash API or something like that. Otherwise, simply just stick it to empty, just like this. And then you also put where the sitemap is supposed to be located, and that's it. You have the robots.txt also generated. If we just now go back to this, now you just see, if I'm just going to refresh, for instance, I'm just going to go here and click on this. First of all, you see like this is the HP store and you can see HP is actually concatenated there or something like this. And now you can just go ahead and have the description. And now you can see we have all the tags. Okay, for instance, the sitemap.xml and the robots.txt. Okay, yeah, so great. So we have all these now working great. I think that was really a breeze, putting all those things together, and the documentation is here. It has more things if you want to refer. And next, if you want to take it more step further with SEO beyond the code, now the next thing you could just do is Google My Business. More especially if this is for a client, you're supposed to register for them, or if they have the Google My Business already, that is great. There is a documentation here that I have linked to. I have no any affiliation to them. It's just a good documentation showing you how to create the Google My Business. So you can just, I saw you listed here the things you can just do. So Google My Business helps your local business rank locally. When someone is searching in your neighborhood, searching for instance a restaurant, all local restaurants that are having Google My Business, they will be listed first. Okay. And if you want to see what I mean, if you go here in the browser and you search for instance for JB web developer, that is the one I use on YouTube. If you just search it, you'll see that I have your business is on Google. So I went ahead and registered for Google My Business. If a local person is searching for my name, these images come out, the website, the directions, call. So this is good even for you as a developer. Just go ahead and register Google My Business for your own name. You just simply register for your own name and then get verified. This will just show up if someone searches something like this. You can see it comes on top of the page, then YouTube, then LinkedIn, and all other places. Okay, great. The next thing you can also do is Google Search Console. So Google Search Console is a tool that helps you monitor your site search performance and technical SEO health. So when you just go to Search Console, I think I also have like two websites when I was starting. So if you search like Google Search Console, just like this. So if I just go to maybe the first one, Google Search, not guide, just Google Search Console. If I just click on the first link and I click on Start Now, I'm just going to be redirected to this. You can see I have some websites here, and they show you, for instance, the searches, for instance, 62 total web search links. So they show you like how the pages are indexed and so they just like ask you so many things. They give you like some sort of few analytics about your website. So it is also good that you just go ahead and submit your website to Google Search Console and they can just index it, and you can also see people, how many people visited it, how many people clicked it, or how many people searched it. Okay. uh that's the purpose of this one. And I think we have exhausted most of the things, and I want to thank you for watching the video. If you haven't subscribed, please hit the subscribe button or the notification bell so that you don't miss any of my videos. Thank you so much. I will see you in the next video.